Hey, you guys. How are you guys doing today? Can you hear me loud and clear? How's everybody doing? Everybody hear me better today than yesterday? We had a couple sound issues yesterday, but I think we're good today. Let me know if you guys have any issues, though. How are you doing, Sam? How are you doing, Shauna? Welcome, welcome. All right, everybody saw that we started off some really fun bunnies yesterday. We're putting them into some like interdimensional portal stuff. Today's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to wrap up that project a bit. A little bit about me. I'm Alex Lazaris, and I'm a designer and creative director in Portland, Oregon. I have a small little design team where I do a bunch of different random projects from brand systems, design systems, packaging work, anything that consumers do or touch or see, we pretty much do. And I'm going to be teaching you guys some more Dimension tricks, thinking in 3D, how do we utilize Dimension to do some really cool stuff, and kind of like make some really interesting scenes. I think Dimension is known really well for being able to mock up some really cool collateral. But today we're going to do some like fun for us, little abstract, really interesting stuff. It's going to be probably pretty weird. I'm going to need your help to make it even more kind of abstract and crazy and fun. So we're going to dive into it. Welcome, Mark. Welcome, Shauna. I already said hi, Shauna. Welcome, Cody Bear. Cody Bear is streaming tomorrow, I believe. Check out that schedule real quick. Yeah, he is he's doing the design off with Val at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Val's incredible. I mean, all the Adobe guests and streamers are all incredible, but I'm very excited to watch the design off. I was in it last week. It's crazy. It's an hour-long competition with random words picked throughout the whole thing. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. It's going to get crazy. It's tough. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. Welcome, Brianna. Welcome, welcome. Jan, how are you guys doing? I think Dimension documents are called projects. That's really the Lazarus project. Oh, no. Oh, no. We got so meta there already. It's brilliant. Vladimir is here as well. Vladimir is amazing. He works on the Dimension team. He's shown me some really great tips in the past. And if you have any questions, you can definitely put them at him if I don't get to them in chat. But here's where we left off yesterday. I know, it's kind of crazy. I can zoom in just a little bit more. We've got these little bunnies in their little scene kind of going to these like portals. And these portals we can change them later on if we really want to. But essentially we've got them all going around. Let me move this real quick. I'm going to turn on the environmental light. So last night when we left off, I tidied off a couple little things just so it's easier and we don't have to spend time like nitpicking in stream. But I found out the reason why the bunnies had a little white tail at the end of the day yesterday was because I accidentally copied and pasted another bunny on top of it. And for some reason, the tail of the other one was sticking out and we're not getting the chocolate effect. So now we've got a bunch of bunnies and they all have chocolate. They all look the same. The portal on the backside is empty, as you can see, but that's okay because we're just shooting from this angle here. So here's the bunnies. They're all going from all sides. And really we just wanted to set it up so that the shot, let me go back to the shot list here. Boom. So I'm doing real-time rendering right now where the light from these planes that are glowing on the side out here. So let me show you how I do lighting in Dimension to feel like a photography. So right now it feels like if I put up two strobes or two light sources and I gelled them, you can color the lights that way. So I've essentially just taken these planes here, it's a quick little recap, and just colored them. And then I applied, if you go to the materials, you type in glow, you can just throw on a glow on top of them. And then in there, you've got the glow settings, go into the settings itself and turn up the glow. You can control how much intensity is coming off of it, and you can change the color. So if I want this to be orange, do that, which actually might be kind of cool, a nice little contrast. We can fine tune all of that as we get further down into the project, but right now there's a couple of things that I want to adjust just to start. And Shauna says, I'm honestly super blown away by what Dimension is capable of. And I feel the same way. I think when I first started using Dimension, I thought of it as just this really good collateral markup tool, but I didn't really see the full potential of it until really diving into understanding how the lighting could work and benefit and setting up 3D scenes and stuff like that. So I'm actually really loving Dimension now as well. It's pretty cool, and the more things that you learn to be able to utilize in Dimension, the better and happier you're going to be. So I'm just moving this pink light source just a little bit out of the way by just dragging the exposition on the sidebar over here. You can also just type it in manually, but sometimes I like the tangible aspect of things, like dragging is quite a nice experience too. All right, so I've got the real-time render in. We can always turn that off. We can turn off the real-time render up in this top right corner. Sorry, render preview is the official name. And then turn up the environmental light if I really want to, just so we have a clean slate to work with. It's a little bit faster sometimes too. Yasser, you can totally watch the first one, or you can just revisit it at the end of the stream as well. It's a pretty good jumping point for how we got to where we are. Essentially, we've got, there's like really, I'm reusing a lot of the same assets to build this scene. So cube, and I'm stretching the dimensions out and flattening them and narrowing them wherever I want to make a scene. So essentially a bunch of cubes. I've got some rabbits here, which are objects that I got from the actual Adobe Stock website. You can always go there and get some assets, especially if you have the like image credits that you would normally have. It's always a great way of going about using up some of those credits from a client project that you might have or something like that for some personal uses. Let me continue to drag it around. So we've also got this back wall. I'm trying to figure out how I want to utilize it yet. I'm not quite sure yet. This object looks a little bit too tall for how I'm looking at it right now. So I'm going to probably flatten that. Right now, I realized after the stream yesterday that these glow images that we are using for our portals are a little squished. And I'm going to fix that really quickly. Let me just move it back to the outside. And I'm going to, let's just see here. Open it up. And I'm going to change the repeat. It's currently locked at a 1-to-1, and that I believe, and Vladimir can correct me, or somebody else on the Dimension team can correct me. I believe that is a 1-to-1, so it's a square, but the image itself is a rectangle. So I think it's forcing it into the confines of an actual box. But I might be completely wrong on that. So I'm just going to actually expand. I'm going to narrow that down. I'm going to offset it. So look at that. That's making it look a lot better already. Yay. All right. So now I've got that. I'm going to do the next one as well. Let's see here. All right. So this guy unlocked the dimension, the constraint proportions, and go down. Yay. Okay. We might change this later. If anybody in chat wants to art direct what these portals are, feel free to do so. I'm going to turn down the environmental light just a little bit. So let's see here. I'm going to turn down this environmental light. Do the render and see what that looks like. So how's that? It's looking pretty good. But I kind of like the blue being on this. Can we set the star pictures as a light source too so they glow? That is correct. So Jan, yes, we've currently got that happening right now actually. So let me show you. Let me just click that, the glow image. So I'm going into the glow image and I've got it as a cube material. And I have, let's see here. So you can kind of see that the light source is bouncing in this like foreground of this bunny right here. Let's go click properties. I've got the glow at 40%. We can blast it out even more. So you can really see how bright it can get. So that's putting its own light source. It doesn't treat it like it's not going to be a 1-to-1 where the image itself is repeated on whatever object you have in front of it. So if I put like, let me just delete this bunny rabbit really quick, turn off this live preview. Actually, let me just copy him first so I don't lose him. Control C, I'm gonna delete him. I'm gonna throw on a sphere and I'll show you what I mean. Sphere. And then I'm going to make this sphere metallic just so we can see the reflection a little bit better. So you'll see on this metallic ball, it's reflecting the environmental light from the studio scene, which you can change in the actual environmental light if you have a 3D image file. It's not showing the preview right now, but it's in there. So if I zoomed in on it and I just rotate the camera so you'd see, let's go inside, enhance. We almost, are we almost there? Enhance. All right, see, it's not, as I'm saying, it's like not reflecting that portal. Even if I do like a live render, it's going to reflect the portal, but the light source isn't going to like bounce off of it into like another direction, which you would kind of expect. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's from my understanding. Boop. All right, so let's lower the let's lower this glow coming from the portal. It's a little overwhelming right now. We'll keep it about like 45. Something like that. So that's looking pretty good there. I think, so right now, the reason why it looks all pixelated to anybody who's new to Dimension is this is bouncing the rays from the light sources around the project itself. So these are like real rays kind of bouncing. So that's what you're seeing real time. If I turn off this live preview, all you have is the light that's natural. So this kind of shows you what the light is actually doing when you're letting it through this like soft boxes or whatever you're trying to like create in Dimension. So I like the idea of, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking I'm gonna probably need to put a skybox in or something that like top lights the environmental light a little bit more, so that way I can get rid of the environmental light. Something that keeps it a little bit more neutral versus feeling like it's only color light. I guess we have the portals kind of doing a little bit of white in there, but I'm going to also just copy and paste the floor and I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to put like I think a liquid. So I'm doing a drag and drag up, but you can just type it into the position or scale section on the right side as well. So no disco balls. I know. Oh, no disco balls. All right. So now that I've got this floor moved up, I'm going to put, I guess, a liquid. We could do beer, but that's kind of weird, but it could work. Boop. Let's see what beer does. So really you can take any property from my understanding and like any liquidish type. I don't know what the difference is in the refraction for beer versus water, but you can change the color. Maybe there's an inherent like translucence, but you can change a lot of the translucence. So if I just put water in here, I can change the color and I can change, I'll show you real quick. So this is clear water, which is boring. These bunnies are going to another dimension, so we don't need to give them just normal water. Molten lava. Do you want lava? Shauna wants lava. What else? If you guys have any ideas or inputs throughout this process, just let me know, chat. We can do it. It looks like Kool-Aid almost because there's no textures. I would need to find like an object that I could use to span and create like a wave. I was looking on Adobe Stock earlier for some like water type of things. Let's see what we can find with the, see like, blanket? Like a towel or a blanket work? Let's see here. Waves? Index refraction is the amount of light being bent through the surface. Correct. Yep. You can get like, you can make things look like it's denser or not. So for like water, I can essentially go down to, oops, click. I can go down to translucence and then do index of refraction, and I can turn it up. And it's going to look more dense than if I turn it down. I believe that's the correct direction. Can't really tell right now, but you should be able to tell density is the, sorry. But yeah, I think that it looks so red. It's so red. All right, let's see what we got with the waves. No waves. I do like sheet. Hello, Bone Jenna. How are you doing? Yeah, there's not really like a good wave that I've found yet, but something like that could work. All right, the red's a little scary. Let's see if we can do like, I think I'm going to change this light source up here to be blue again, just so it's a little bit more friendly to doing a liquid. Oop. We could make this purple maybe. There we go. Cool, now I'm going to go back to my bookmarked camera and I'm going to click boop. Maybe now there's too many blues. Let's see, let's just scroll back out. So I realized that scrolling in and out is a pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set a camera here by adding a add camera bookmark and say, okay, outside. I'm going to rename this one straight, which is the like camera on directly. So straight. Now I can change this. Maybe that'll work. Let's see. Let's go back, camera bookmark to straight. Let's see here. I'm going to go water, and I'm going to adjust it down a little bit. All right, and then density, I'm going to lower the density so it should be a little bit more clear, I believe. I think. Yeah, it's looking good, I think. Translucence should be completely I can add a little bit of metallic, I think, and that should help with like reflections. Maybe that's gonna do the opposite of what I want. Maybe just a little bit of, you can always turn on glow and see what happens. They're like almost like runway models. They're like walking on the like glowing platform. These are my beautiful bunnies. Translucence, index of refraction, how many particles is it going to go through? Cool. So I'm going to also take this base, and I know you can't animate on Dimension. Can you animate this somehow? You could essentially do multiple renders and set like keyframes by doing that. So like you could set it just like you would in like Photoshop, where you do like a keyframe of every single thing. I would just keyframe it out that way and then bring it into Photoshop and make your GIF that way. Density is the internal color of material, and it is quite sensitive, tied to the thickness. Good starting values are 0.01 and 0.1. Interesting. Let's see what we're at on those density. Yeah, I'm at 0.05. I think that might be good. Maybe I can even lower it just a tiny bit. So I don't know. I won't know fully how crazy that water is until I probably do a full render. But let's do 0.02. I think it might be a good starting point. I don't want the whole water to feel like it's been blown out at the bottom. I still want to be able to see the base of the structure, or else it kind of defeats the whole purpose of kind of putting that base layer there. We're just going to fill it with negative space. All right, so I'm going to copy and paste this base layer here, and I'm going to move it up above, because I think that this top of this building is a little just boring. It's really plain, right? It's only just these kind of like top kind of section. So let's copy and paste it. I'm going to move it up. Boop, 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 boop. And then I'm going to shorten the scale of it. And I'm going to, bring it in and adjust the X and Z scales to be, I guess let's try 6 and 6. That looks like a little top. Now the architecture starts to look a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to scoot it down just a tiny bit. Maybe it needs to be a little bit bigger. And I can actually change where it grows from by doing center top. So I want it to go just downward. So it should just go straight down now. There we go. So now the geometry is starting to line up. I think there's complementary shapes between the this like X runway plane happening on where the bunnies are walking, and then the geometry of the actual building kind of coming above as well. Let's see. I think I could also just add another one, Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to just bump it up to 7 this time. And then I'm going to scale down the Y. Oops, I did it from the top. Let me actually do it from the center this time. Oops, okay. I'm actually going to just do something very small, like 6.5, just so there's a little bit of an overhang. I'm going to increase the X height, or the Y height just a little bit. I'm going to do even less on this, so 6.2. Cool, that's actually starting to look pretty good there. I think I actually want to scale both of them. So if I grab them both, I feel like my computer is laggy today. So if I grab by pressing Shift and then I scale in, should work. Oh no, it's because I don't have anything selected. Come on, computer. Oh no. That layer went away. Hello, computer? Okay. Got it back. Whew. Please make it happen, Alex. What do I need to do? Oh, if you create an environmental light out of a texture that has stars, this would happen naturally. Jan, that's a lot of work right now. We'll see if we have time at the end to somehow make that environmental light. If not, we can always do it in Photoshop. Oh, Lord. All right, let's just grab one. I'm going to do 5.5, 5.5. I realized the reason why I was probably lagging is because I was using the render preview on while I was trying to do like really finicky little moves. So I'm just going to move this up now. All right, let's see what the render preview looks like now. Just move it up just a little bit. Okay, that could be cool. I'm going to turn down the global intensity again. Jan is very demanding. He is very demanding. Carol! Saving is a good idea, especially when it's acting a little wonky. Good idea. We'll do a quick little save. Jan, don't tell anybody, but I have a really good computer. Don't tell anybody. It's just, you know, it's one of those days. It just woke up all sleepy and was tired. You have those days. Computers have those days. It's a thing. Cool. Let's see what's going on with this render now. So the lighting's starting to look pretty cool. I can turn down this glow if I want. We can throw in, so now that this is happening, let's throw in some like textures in the background. What do you guys think the background should be? We can also put texture below the water layer as well. I kind of like the like walkways being untextured, but if you guys have ideas, we can absolutely implement them. I was thinking like a brick texture might be cool. Let's see what we have for materials. Oh Lord, it's glitter time. Alex, he protect, he attack, but mostly, importantly, he use Mac. Thanks, Jan. So this pattern is really big. We can increase the repeating pattern to make it a little bit like make them smaller. Give us the scale that we're looking for. I think the glitter is a little, it's a little too crazy. Could do, let's see here. You know what? We can also go to Adobe Stock and see what textures we have. Oh, I can do the brick. I guess I can just do materials. Is there a filter for just, oh yes, there is. Ha ha ha. Look at that. Gold, natural gold. Ooh. What are you guys saying? Anything in here that you're thinking we need to have? Fluffy walls? I don't know, fluffy, I don't know. We'll see. We can do fluffy walls. We can absolutely test it. Is there a cotton texture? Probably not. Nope. I guess wool. Oh, this like powdery snow kind of looks like cotton. We can change that probably. Let's grab it. Yeah, there's a lot of cool materials within the Adobe Stock collection. Let's open this guy up. Okay, so we can control its opacity. We got some fluffy walls in the background there. What else do we want to do with it? We can add glow, but I feel like we already have plenty of glow going on. We can change the color. Oh, but it looks like, okay, so it's an image, which means we would have to change. Oh, there's the offset, nice. So that's the pattern. We could change the color by doing something like this and then changing the opacity, I believe. Is that working? There we go, something like that. Oh, nope, definitely not. IKEA pine walls. It's actually, we could do, I'm thinking this almost feels like a pool scene. So if we can find like a tile, it might work really well. Let's see here. Ooh, we got some like really interesting tiles here. I am liking kind of this. It's like nice and shiny one. We'll see how it looks in our scene, but there's some other options. Even if we wanted to like use this, like this honeycomb is really nice too. All right, let me open it up. You can delete the base color texture and just use plain color. Got it. I thought that would just delete the image itself, so that's why I thought. Good, thank you. But I guess that would make sense if the offset is down here. Aha! Vladimir with the suggestions and the pro tips. Amazing, thank you, Vladimir. All right, let me grab this, put the ceramic over here. Whoa, that needs to be repeated quite a bit. So gotta keep moving these guys. So I like the horizontal length, but I'm not the biggest fan of the vertical length. So I'm going to actually take off the constraint proportions section, and I'm going to increase it. Make them a little bit taller, each tile a little bit bigger. That feels like more of like a real tile to me. It's a little large for our tiny little bunnies. So what we're going to do is actually click that lock again for the repeat, so the constraints, the proportions are constrained, and we're going to just increase the repetitiveness, again shrinking it down in real time, make a tile background that feels like it scales a little bit better. And so the top part of this is cut off, as you can see. So what we're going to do, so I can actually zoom in on that. You can see it being cut off up here, which wouldn't happen. So what I'm going to do is actually take this, and I'm going to click into it. Click, 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 come on. Click into the properties, and then I'm going to offset this top on the y-axis just so it cuts it off completely. Scale the walls. Yeah, so that's looking pretty nice now. We might need to unscale it a little bit, but. All right, so that's kind of interesting. Right now, I am liking a lot of this. I'm liking the shape of the top of this building. I'm liking the bunnies again. I'm not sure how I feel about this wall yet. We might change that color, but right now I'm feeling like the big obvious thing that we're looking at right now is this huge black space we have, right? So we could just have it white, but we already have so much white. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to, I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to make like a skybox like you would in like a video game. So I'm essentially just going to take this base layer. Oh, we have 2 layers of water now. That's awesome. Whoops. Or is it 1? Okay, it's just 1. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this and lift it up above the scene. I think I might want to just take like an image, like a sky. Do you want stars, Jan? Do you really want stars? Starry night? Yeah, we could do something like this, maybe. But the lighting is going to be a little bit wonky, but let's try it. Let's do it. Just for Jan. You can just upload an image for that background, something logical. Yeah, we could. We could absolutely. So we could do that with Photoshop. We could just export it, and then it'll have all the layers. We could just throw it in the background of the Photoshop. But what I actually want to do is I want to create a light source from the top down, just like the stars would be. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to change the material. Actually, probably don't need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do glowing on it. And then I'm going to, let's call this, oh no. I'm actually going to name my layers. Who would have thought? Sky. All right, so it's so bright right now. Let's see here. Let's throw on glowing, and then base color is going to be an image. And it's going to be the image that we just downloaded. Let me just grab it real quick. All right, so again, it's scaled up really big. So I'm going to scale it down. Whoa, repeat. Let's see. And we'll play with it as we let's see what happens. Let's see. Let's go back to outside. Oops, sorry, straight. What we're going to do is actually going to position this, and I can do the move tool with align to scene. So that should just be able to move it without me having to do anything super crazy. And then I'm going to actually scale it up. And I'm going to scale the Z. It looks like, yeah, these guys need to be scaled out. Oh, I'm back. Woo. All right, cool. Welcome back. That's Paul. He's coming up next. You guys are going to have a great time with him. So anyways, back to Jan getting his beautiful stars. I was hoping I would be redeemed from giving Paul his, or not Paul, Jan his stars, and I think we're good now. So, anyways, so hi guys, welcome back. All right, let's try to get the scale to be a little bit better. Woo! All right, oops. All right. So right now the sky feels a little bit too close, so maybe I need to have like something a little further away. Maybe we'll try this real quick. I know we're like running out of time pretty fast. So let's just grab it. Actually, this looks pretty good, promising. All right, I'm gonna license it real quick. I'm gonna grab it and throw it on there. And then we're gonna fix the lighting on the top. And we should be good. All right, Dimension. Did I download it? Oh, it's an Illustrator file. Whoa. Yep, okay, cool. So I'm gonna grab the Illustrator file and throw it in Dimension. There's a problem reading file. All right, let's try it again through the, instead of doing a sticker, which I think was what I was doing by just dragging it like that. Cool. We can do a quick save if we really want to. Keep the sky close. It's like being in Mexico and Epcot. Nice. Let's just do a quick export of this. Export as to desktop. Stars. Actually, Jan stars. Specifically Jan stars. All right. Export 300 DPI. All right, here we go. Desktop. Jan stars. Cool. They look the same. Who would have thought? This is looking cool, Alex. Thank you, Jan. Thank you. All right. So I can adjust the scale very, very quickly. So repeat. Whoop. All right, so that's looking actually a lot better. Obviously it's nighttime, so things aren't going to be as bright as that. So we're going to turn down the brightness of the sky just a tiny bit. So pro tip, when you're lighting things in Dimension, you have this slider, but you can always turn the values up on most of the sliders. So if I really wanted to, I could do 1000%, which it was at 500 originally. So now we've got like a really nice blue light kind of laying over everybody, or all the little bunnies, not everybody. All right, so we're at 172. So let's lower it a little bit, just a tiny bit more. Cool, that's starting to look really good. All right, so now we've got this building, and this building can get textured if we want. Does anybody have any ideas around how we texture that? The smog from the city. That's funny. It's very true. We could do this nice, like, we'll see. I kind of like the white part of the building, but maybe not. Maybe it's not good enough. We could do a, let's try to do a pattern underneath in the water and see what happens. Let's save real quick just in case. It's been a little bit since we saved. All right. Stone or brick? Stone or brick is a great idea. I think I want to do like, I think I saw that material that was like the tile. This like hexagonal tile is really nice. I think it might bring in some of those blues that we're lighting with it. Stone, marble, stucco. Stucco under a pool? I don't know if we can do that. I mean, even these green rectangular tiles are pretty nice too. I don't know. There's so many things you can play with in 3D. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of the exciting part about working in Dimension is like by changing what just one texture looks like, it can look kind of like a completely different project. All right, so this is looking good. Let's zoom out real quick. All right, so we got the zoom. Oh Lord, you know what happened? I moved our water. So I got to actually just remake the water real quick. Oh, it's because I got the move on to relative to. So if you click and hold, I've got this on align to scene, turn off align to scene so I can move everything up. I'm gonna make the water again really, really quickly. V, I'm gonna move it up. And I'm going to just do that. This way we can control the texture that's going underneath it. Let me grab that, put it on. Yeah, that tile is red. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool ones. So again, same thing that we were experiencing earlier. Scale is really large for these tiles. So we're just gonna mess with that scale really, really quickly. So open up the properties panel. I'm gonna turn down the textures just so it renders a little bit quicker for us. So you wanna, when you're doing like interior design and stuff, you typically wanna have things at different scales, not matching all the time. So I have these tiles below this wall. About half is kind of the rule of thumb. So let me change this material really quickly and see what the water's doing. We might adjust the scale of the tiles. I think already the horizontal width is too narrow again. So I'd have to go in and fine tune that just a little bit. Water, let me throw in the water. All right, color, base color, we did blue originally. Kind of like a fluorescent blue. And that tile on the floor is going to also give us a nice little like blue on top of that. So that's going to be pretty sweet. The water drained out. Yeah, that's true. I didn't put walls everywhere. That reminds me of like an old PlayStation game where you had to like fill up the water and stuff, but I don't remember the name of it. All right, so we're going to just scoot it down just a tiny bit. Let's see what the scene's doing for us right now. Save again. Straight on. Let's turn on the render. So you can start to see in the live render, we'll see a better version of it when we do like a full render. But you can see that tile texture below is looking really, really nice through the water. Obviously what I would do is also going to, let's just do it really quickly. Because you can start to see where the water stops. I'm just going to go from the pivot to the top center, which is where the object will grow from, and I'm just going to pull it down, or pull it up, but it's going to go down. And that should touch there you go. This should look good. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the straight scene, and that's going to get pretty interesting. I might, because we're starting to run out of time, so I'll tell you what I'm going to plan on doing, and then I'm going to put this on. Did you say who put stucco in the pool? You have rabbits walking a gazebo looking thing. That's true. That is very true. My bad. I guess the laws of physics aren't really applying to us today. Very good point. And they're made out of chocolate, so who really knows? So what I'm going to do, planning out the rest of this shot, is I'm going to finish out the textures. I'm probably going to adjust this back wall and build out something on the right. It currently feels like it's a little bit too close, so I might push those walls out a little bit more, give more stars on the top of it, and then we should be pretty good to go. I'll probably render and texture a couple more things in there. I want the stars up top to feel a little bit more real, so I might move it all the way up and then put some like 3D clouds in that space. But I didn't get to complete this project, so I'll complete it on my personal time, and I'll throw it on my Behance, so go to those corners and check it out. But I appreciate everybody hanging out and learning and hanging out with me and kind of growing and getting really weird and funky with these rabbits in this like swimming pool portal gazebo thing. Hope you guys had a good time. Don't forget, Paul is coming up today after this stream. He's going to have a great time. If you haven't seen it, his Zoom backgrounds from yesterday were really fun and really creative and a lot cooler than I've seen a lot of other people do with Zoom backgrounds, so you won't want to miss it. It's coming up next. The schedule starts with tomorrow. It's going to be a full day of really good stuff. You absolutely don't want to miss it. Personally biased doing the Voodoo Vow challenge the other day. You definitely don't want to miss the design off at 3 p.m. to close. Stay all day, learn everything with everybody, and I think you're going to have a really, 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 really great time. So thank you guys for hanging out. I will see y'all later.